Imagine for a moment that the most powerful tool for a meaningful life is not something you can buy, earn, or be given. Imagine it is already within you, a latent force waiting to be discovered and harnessed. This is not a mere thought experiment. It is a reality grounded in the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that has guided countless souls through the ages toward a life of purpose, resilience, and tranquility. Stoicism teaches us that the key to a life well lived lies not in external accolades or material possessions, but in mastering the art of valuing ourselves through the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. It is a profound reminder that, despite the chaos and challenges of the world outside, we hold within us the unshakable foundation for our own well-being. Together, we will peel back the layers of societal expectation and self-doubt to uncover the timeless Stoic principles that can transform how we see ourselves and our place in the world. This journey is about more than self-improvement. It is about rediscovering our inherent worth and learning to live in alignment with our deepest values. If you are ready to unlock the doors to personal freedom and fulfillment, you are in the right place. To truly embark on this path, all that is required is your presence. By being here, you have already set yourself apart from the majority. You have chosen to be an exception. Now, honor that choice by immersing yourself in the wisdom that follows. Number 1. Accepting less than you deserve. It is a compromise we have all made at one point or another. We remain in a job that drains our spirit, stay in relationships that fail to enrich us, or abandon cherished dreams out of fear. We settle. We tell ourselves, this is as good as it gets. But why do we do this? Is it fear? A desire for comfort? Perhaps a mixture of both. Stoicism teaches that our true worth, our very essence, is impervious to these external circumstances. Whether you find yourself in a palace or a prison, what truly defines you is not your situation, but your response to it. While we cannot control every aspect of our lives, we possess ultimate power over our perceptions, judgments, and actions. Consider this. When we accept less than we deserve, we are essentially conceding that our external world has more power over us than we have over ourselves. Stoicism invites us to challenge this notion. It urges us to ask, does this situation align with my values? Am I responding in a way that reflects my true worth? If the answer is no, Stoicism does not leave us in despair. It empowers us. It declares that you have the power to change your perception, to choose your response, and in doing so, to transform your reality. So, the next time you find yourself settling, remember this Stoic wisdom. Remind yourself that your worth is not defined by a job title, relationship status, or bank account. It is forged in your ability to remain true to your values, to act with courage and integrity, no matter the circumstance. This is not about blame, it is about empowerment. Let us not settle for less, not out of entitlement, but from a clear recognition of our inherent worth. Number 2, minimizing your achievements. Stoicism, with its profound understanding of human nature, does not advocate for boastfulness or an inflated ego. It does, however, encourage a fair and honest recognition of our efforts and virtues. Acknowledging our achievements is not about feeding our pride. It is about honoring the discipline, the work, and the perseverance it took to reach them. It is a validation of our commitment to our values. In Stoicism, virtues like wisdom, courage, and temperance are paramount. When you achieve something, it is often because you have exercised these virtues. Perhaps it took courage to seek that new opportunity, wisdom to navigate its challenges, or the discipline, a form of temperance, to complete a difficult project. When you attribute your success to mere luck or dismiss it as something anyone could do, you are not just undervaluing the outcome. You are undervaluing the virtues you practiced to get there. The Stoic approach is one of balance and honesty. It is about saying, yes, I worked hard for this. I faced challenges and overcame them. This achievement reflects my effort and my character. It is about giving yourself credit where it is due, not for the sake of ego, but for the sake of truth. Think of something you have achieved recently, no matter its scale. Consider the virtues you practiced to make it happen. Perhaps you showed incredible discipline, took a brave step out of your comfort zone, or used your wisdom to solve a problem. Take a moment to acknowledge it. This is not mere self-congratulation. It is an exercise in seeing the truth of your own character. Embracing this practice moves us from false modesty toward a genuine appreciation of our own capabilities. Number 3. Prioritizing others' needs over your own. It is a familiar scenario, staying late to help a colleague, sacrificing your personal time for family, or placing your dreams on hold to support someone else's. It can feel noble, even selfless. But here is the paradox. Constantly putting others first at the expense of your own well-being leads to burnout, resentment, and a loss of self. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. Stoicism places great emphasis on virtue and contributing to society, but it also teaches the critical importance of self-care. Caring for oneself is not selfish. It is the foundation upon which our ability to care for others is built. To be of service, we must first ensure we are in a state of physical, mental, and spiritual health. Stoicism introduces the dichotomy of control, understanding what is within our power and what is not. Our thoughts, actions, and self-care are within our control. The well-being of others, however much we may wish it, is not. What we can control is how well equipped we are to offer them our support and love. And that begins with ourselves. When you are well-rested, centered, and at peace, how much more patient and present are you for the people in your life? This is about having the inner resources to be a source of stability and strength for others. It begins with recognizing that self-care is not a luxury, but a necessity. It means setting boundaries, saying no when needed, and making time for activities that replenish your spirit, not out of self-indulgence, but out of a commitment to being your best self for those you care about. Number 4. Struggling to accept compliments. Stoicism teaches the importance of viewing ourselves objectively. This means acknowledging our strengths just as openly as we acknowledge our areas for improvement. It is about understanding our value in a balanced, fair-minded way. Often we struggle to accept compliments because we view ourselves through a distorted lens, focusing on our imperfections or believing that acknowledging our strengths is a form of arrogance. Consider a Stoic perspective. True humility is not the denial of our strengths, but their grounded and realistic recognition. It is seeing ourselves as we truly are, free from the exaggerations of ego or the shadows of insecurity. Accepting a compliment graciously is a practice in self-awareness and objectivity. When someone compliments you, they are often recognizing a genuine quality, something worthy of praise. To dismiss their words is to miss an opportunity to see yourself through another's eyes and understand your impact. To change this, adjust your mindset. When someone offers praise, see it as a mirror reflecting your virtues and efforts. Instead of deflecting, simply say, "Thank you." No minimization, just gratitude. Use these moments for reflection. Ask yourself, what did I do to earn this praise? This is not about feeding the ego, but about understanding the part of you that is capable of excellence. Number 5. Avoiding decision-making. Have you ever found yourself paralyzed by a choice, unable to move forward? This hesitation is more than just indecision. It is a reflection of a deeper lack of self-trust. Stoicism offers a lantern in this fog. It teaches that the essence of wise decision-making lies not in guaranteeing a perfect outcome, but in basing our choices on wisdom and reason. While we cannot control the result, we have complete control over the process. We often fear making the wrong choice, one that leads to failure. Stoicism, however, reframes our understanding of failure. In the Stoic view, every outcome is an opportunity for learning and growth. There are no true failures, only lessons. This perspective encourages us to trust ourselves and make decisions with courage, knowing that whatever the result, it will contribute to our development. How do we cultivate this self-trust? It begins by grounding our decisions in our core values. Before making a choice, ask yourself, does this align with my principles? Am I acting with integrity? By doing so, you ensure that regardless of the outcome, your choice was made with the best understanding you had at the moment. Every result, expected or not, holds valuable insight. This process of reflection and learning fosters a deep and abiding trust in our ability to navigate the uncertain waters of life. Number 6. Excessive self-criticism. Stoicism teaches the art of discernment, of choosing where to direct our mental energy. Obsessing over our flaws and failures is a profound waste of that energy. The Stoic wisdom implores us to recognize that perfection is an illusion. The goal, instead, is progress, continuous, deliberate steps toward becoming a better version of ourselves. We often fall into the trap of self-criticism because we measure ourselves against impossible standards, ones we would never hold for others. We forget that to be human is to be flawed. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote, the practice of self-compassion and the pursuit of progress over perfection. From a Stoic viewpoint, self-compassion is not about making excuses. It is about treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer a dear friend. It is recognizing that setbacks are not indictments of our character, but part of the shared human experience. When we stumble, the Stoic response is not to berate ourselves, but to ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? Embracing this mindset means understanding that growth is often non-linear, filled with challenges, and beautifully imperfect. Number 7. Constant comparison with others. It is easy to fall into the comparison trap. In the age of social media, our natural tendency to gauge our own worth against others is amplified to an unprecedented degree. We are bombarded with curated highlight reels that showcase only the peaks of life, leading us to question the significance of our own journey. Stoicism offers a potent remedy: the cultivation of self-awareness and gratitude. It encourages us to redirect our gaze inward, to focus on our personal growth and the progress we have made on our own unique path. Stoicism promotes inspiration over comparison. We can admire the virtues and successes of others without diminishing our own value. To combat the comparison trap, we must first practice mindfulness, catching ourselves when we compare our behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's polished facade. Second, we must focus on what is within our control, our efforts, our attitudes, and our virtues. By nurturing these, we cultivate a life of personal significance, independent of external validation. Finally, gratitude anchors us in the present, allowing us to appreciate the richness of our own lives. This empowers us to strive for growth from a place of contentment, not inadequacy. Number 8. Lack of personal investment. Have you ever put off taking that course, starting that hobby, or even tending to your own self-care? This is often more than a matter of time. At its core, it signifies a failure to recognize our own value, as if we are telling ourselves, I am not worth the effort. Stoicism challenges us to view self-improvement not as a mere activity, but as a profound form of self-respect. The Stoic philosopher Seneca likened life to a garden. Just as a garden requires constant tending to flourish, so too does our inner world. Neglecting our personal growth is like allowing a garden to become overgrown with weeds. Stoicism asserts that every individual possesses inherent worth and the potential for virtue. Investing in our growth through learning, hobbies, or self-care is how we honor that worth. How can we begin? It starts with a shift in mindset, seeing self-improvement as an essential, non-negotiable part of life. This does not require a complete overhaul. It is about making small, consistent investments in ourselves. Reading a book that fascinates us, dedicating a few minutes each day to quiet reflection, or pursuing a hobby that brings us joy. Through the Stoic practice of self-examination, we can identify our strengths and areas for growth, guiding our efforts and affirming with every action that we are indeed worthy of the investment. When we regularly take stock of our lives, setting goals and reflecting on our progress, we cultivate a profound sense of purpose and direction. This practice of self-reflection isn't merely about achieving external markers of success. It is about aligning our actions with our deepest values, nurturing our virtues, and living a life rich with meaning. Another cornerstone is the embrace of lifelong learning. The Stoics understood that wisdom is not a destination, but a journey. By adopting a mindset of curiosity and openness to new horizons, we can transform how we view personal growth. It ceases to be a chore and becomes an adventure, an opportunity to explore the vast landscapes of knowledge and experience that life offers. Number 9. Releasing the need for external validation. True worth, true validation resonates from within. It is the quiet hum of a life lived in alignment with our own principles. The Stoics believed that the only things truly in our power are our actions, our intentions, and our responses. Marcus Aurelius so eloquently reminds us that it is not the opinions of others that disturb our peace, but our own judgments about those opinions. So why do we find ourselves seeking this validation from the outside world? At its core, this longing is often rooted in insecurity, in a deep-seated fear of not being enough. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages about what we should be, do, or possess, it is easy to lose sight of our own path. But Stoicism invites us to redirect our gaze inward, to focus on the cultivation of our character. It teaches us that true peace and fulfillment spring not from the fleeting and fickle approval of others, but from the quiet confidence of knowing we have lived true to ourselves. How, then, can we break free from these chains? The first step is self-awareness. By becoming mindful of our tendencies to seek approval, we can begin to question the motives behind our actions. Are we pursuing a goal because it truly aligns with our values, or are we chasing applause? Stoicism guides us to engage in regular self-reflection, to examine our intentions and ensure they are rooted in our own unwavering principles. Another powerful Stoic practice is the development of self-sufficiency. This does not mean isolating ourselves or becoming indifferent to others. Rather, it is about discovering contentment and fulfillment within ourselves, recognizing that we are whole, just as we are. The philosopher Epictetus emphasized the importance of focusing on what is within our control and gracefully letting go of what is not. By cultivating this inner contentment, we become less reliant on external sources for our sense of worth. Stoicism also encourages us to redefine success itself. Instead of measuring our lives by external accolades or achievements, we learn to measure them by our ability to live in accordance with our values. From a Stoic perspective, success is found in the pursuit of virtue, the practice of reason, and the cultivation of resilience in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Number 10. Tolerating negative environments. Imagine finding yourself in a dense forest. The air is heavy, the path is unclear, and every step feels like a struggle. Whether it's a toxic workplace that drains our spirit, or personal relationships that leave us feeling undervalued, The decision to remain often stems from a quiet, mistaken belief that we don't deserve better. But it is here that Stoicism offers us both a mirror and a map. The Stoics recognized that our environment can significantly influence our ability to live virtuously. Yet, they also emphasized our profound responsibility in shaping our surroundings and choosing our associations wisely. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that our inner peace is not determined by external circumstances, but by our response to them. Why do we tolerate such environments? Often, it is because we underestimate our own capacity for change. We might fear the unknown, cling to a painful familiarity, or doubt our own worth. Stoicism challenges these fears. It encourages us to recognize our inherent value and the power we hold over our choices and attitudes. It urges us to question the belief that we are trapped, and to realize that more often than not, we hold the key to change our circumstances, or at the very least, our perception of them. To navigate and transform our environments, Stoicism offers powerful tools. One is the cultivation of inner resilience, the strengthening of what Marcus Aurelius called our inner citadel. This allows us to remain steady and true to our values, even amidst chaos and negativity. By fostering this strong inner core, we become less susceptible to the toxicity of our surroundings and more capable of making choices that honor our well-being. Another guiding principle is the idea of living in harmony with nature. This means actively seeking out or creating environments that are conducive to our growth, health, and happiness. It is about recognizing that we are deserving of respect, kindness, and positivity, and making the conscious decision to settle for nothing less. In practical terms, this might involve setting boundaries in relationships, seeking new career opportunities, or curating social circles that include more supportive and uplifting influences. It also means investing in our personal environment through practices like meditation, journaling, or hobbies that nurture our mental and emotional health. Number 11. The fear of pursuing our dreams. Why does fear hold such power over us? Often it is because we are acutely aware of what we stand to lose. Our minds are masterful storytellers, painting vivid pictures of failure, of wasted time and effort, of the judgment we might face from others. Stoicism acknowledges these fears, but it invites us to ask a different question. What do we stand to gain? It encourages us to weigh our fears against the potential for growth, fulfillment, and the profound joy of realizing our dreams. Stoicism teaches that the pursuit of virtue, of excellence in line with our nature, is a worthy endeavor in itself, regardless of the outcome. One practice to help us overcome this fear is the premeditation of evils, known today as negative visualization. This involves contemplating worst-case scenarios, not to dwell in anxiety, but to diminish their power over us. By considering potential hardships and realizing our capacity to endure them, we often find our fears are far less daunting than we imagined. This doesn't make us reckless. It makes us balanced, recognizing that failure, while possible, is not an end point, but simply a step on our journey of growth. Another Stoic principle that can embolden us is amor fati, the love of one's fate. This is the art of embracing whatever life brings, not with passive resignation, but with deep and active acceptance. When we pursue our dreams guided by amor fati, we open ourselves to the full spectrum of experience, successes and failures, joys and disappointments, as integral parts of a rich human life. This acceptance frees us from the paralyzing grip of fear, allowing us to move forward with courage and determination. Stoicism reminds us that our true worth is measured not by external achievements, but by our commitment to live with integrity, diligence, and courage. In this light, the fear of pursuing our dreams is not just a barrier to success, it is a barrier to living a life that is truly our own. Number 12. The failure to recognize your own worth. Why do we so often forget this fundamental Stoic lesson? Part of the reason lies in our natural desire for connection, which, when unchecked, can lead us to seek our worth in the fractured mirror of others' opinions. Stoicism, however, teaches that true worth comes from within, from living in accordance with our nature and our virtues. Epictetus wisely stated that freedom is secured not by fulfilling our heart's desires, but by removing our desire for what is outside our control. This applies profoundly to how we perceive our worth. True freedom comes not from external validation, but from recognizing and embracing our own intrinsic value. Stoicism encourages us to shift our focus from external accomplishments to the internal cultivation of character. It teaches that our worth is measured not by the titles we hold or the wealth we amass, but by our commitment to act with integrity, kindness, and courage, whatever our circumstances. This isn't to say that achievements don't matter, but that they are not the source of our worth. Our worth is innate, as constant as the stars in the night sky. Recognizing this frees us from the relentless and exhausting pursuit of external approval. How can we cultivate this understanding? It begins with self-reflection. It begins by turning our gaze inward to acknowledge and appreciate our virtues, our efforts, and our resilience. It involves practicing gratitude for our abilities and our character, recognizing that these internal qualities are the true measure of a life well lived. It also means learning to detach our sense of value from the fluctuating opinions of others and the transient nature of achievements. This detachment is not indifference. It is perspective. It is about understanding what truly matters in the grand tapestry of our lives. Number 13. Feeling unworthy of happiness. This feeling can stem from many sources: past traumas, societal conditioning, or a history of personal failures. We compare our journey to others, seeing only the highlight reels of their lives, while being acutely aware of the messy, unedited footage of our own. This comparison, fueled by the misconception that happiness is a finite resource awarded only to the deserving, can lead us to doubt our own worthiness. Stoicism invites us to dismantle these falsehoods and to recognize that happiness is not a reward, but a way of living. It is a byproduct of aligning our actions with our values and finding joy in the pursuit of virtue and the practice of reason. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control, our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, and to release our grip on what is not. This perspective empowers us to take charge of our own happiness, to create it through our daily choices and attitudes. How can we embrace this approach? It starts by changing the narrative we tell ourselves about worthiness. We must challenge the belief that happiness is conditional on achievement or perfection. Instead, we can learn to see happiness as inherent in the very practice of living virtuously, in making the best choices available to us, and in appreciating the simple beauty of the present moment. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches the profound importance of gratitude. By practicing gratitude, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, from our perceived inadequacies to the quiet abundance present in our lives. This shift is crucial in feeling deserving of happiness, as it allows us to see the opportunity and potential that surrounds us every day. And finally, Stoicism reminds us of the significance of community. Happiness is not a solitary journey. By fostering meaningful relationships, by supporting and being supported, we recognize that our worthiness is affirmed not just by ourselves, but by the collective wisdom and love of those around us. As we journey together through the wisdom of Stoicism, let us carry with us this understanding. Our lives are the canvases upon which we have the power to paint with the vibrant colors of virtue, resilience, and happiness. Remember, You are the architect of your own destiny, the sculptor of your own joy. The path may be strewn with challenges, but it is also lined with the potential for immense growth and fulfillment. You are deserving of happiness, capable of achieving your dreams, and worthy of every bit of love and success that comes your way. I encourage you to watch the suggested video on your screen. It dives deeper into the Stoic practices that can transform your life. And if this conversation has resonated with you, if it has sparked a flame of recognition or curiosity within your heart, I invite you to like this video and share it with others. Let's spread this timeless wisdom, empowering more people to recognize their worth and pursue their happiness with courage and conviction. Thank you for joining Stoic Journal today. Until next time, live bravely, love deeply, and seek the joy that is your birthright.